Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of the Cosmetics Business Podcast. I'm Julia Wray.
And I'm Alessandro Carrara, and we're joined by a very special guest, our event and marketing manager, Emelle Wiltshire. Welcome, Emelle.
Hi.
Now, we are joined by Emelle because this podcast episode is all about how to craft the kind of awards entry that is going to make your product a shortlist shoo-in, and also what to avoid as well. And I can tell you that Emelle knows more about B2B beauty awards than pretty much anyone I've ever met. So, Emelle, tell us how long you've been a part of our Pure Beauty Awards now. And, while you're at it, tell us a little bit about the awards as well.
Yeah, sure. So I have been with HBCI Media, who are the parent company of Cosmetics Business, for 4 years now. And I'm actually on my 8th award season, which is crazy.
Oh, how did that come about? My gosh.
I don't know. It flies by. I think you do one season and then it's immediately on to the next.
I know. It never stops. It's like hamster wheel, right?
It's so funny.
Exactly.
Because you wrap up the one award and then immediately the day after, it's like, all right, guys, we're getting ready for the next one.
And that's not even a joke. It's literally the day after, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, we plan for... I'd say it's about 2 years in advance of an event. We start the planning for it. So at the moment, we're in November of 2024. We are planning for 2026 already. So it's a little bit sickening, constantly working in the future. But yeah, I have done this quite a few times now. So to answer your question, Julia, the Pure Beauty Awards are one of the most long-running award schemes in beauty. And we've actually been operating for 25 years now, which is crazy. Something that a lot of people might not know is that the Pure Beauty Awards has 2 editions. So we have both global and UK.
And they're both excellent, by the way.
Yeah. They're great. They're a lot of fun, aren't they?
If we say so ourselves, I enjoy them every single year. Both as part of it, but also as somebody who's just having a really nice time and celebrating the industry.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think probably the edition that we're most known for is the Pure Beauty UK Awards.
It's the longest, right?
Yeah, that's the one that's been going on for 25 years, and it's just one big fantastic celebration. So that's for new products that have launched into the beauty industry in the past 12 months. Whereas the Pure Beauty Global Awards is something that's a little bit newer. So that actually launched only in 2018. And that one is about launches from all over the globe. And we've just opened for entries for that one. And contrasting to the UK edition, it doesn't have any time frame criteria this year. So we're looking for beauty products, be it new to the market or a complete cult classic, that have launched anywhere in the world.
And we know there's a lot of cult classics out there in the industry, right?
Exactly, yeah. And we've got some really exciting things coming in already. So, yeah.
Ooh, I can't wait to see these because obviously Alessandro and myself are part of the preliminary shortlisting panel, aren't we?
Yeah.
You
guys know how many products that are amazing that come in every single year. I feel like it never gets boring either. I think that we've done this so many times before, and I think every year it still feels so exciting when we start to see a flurry of different samples come in, some big brands, some brand new ones as well that come in. It's great.
Absolutely. And you learn something new every year. There's always something where this is a time you discover a new ingredient or a new brand.
It blows my mind.
Every single time.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And the room always smells amazing when you're judging. So.
I know. Yeah, I have to say the judging day is one of the most exciting.
So, Emelle, what for you is the most important thing that a brand can do when submitting an entry to the Pure Beauty Awards?
The most important thing that a brand can do is to really spend some time curating a strong entry. I think this might sound incredibly obvious, but a lot of brands seem to forget that they are judged based on the information that they submit to us. So in some years, we have close to 800 entries. So as much as we'd like to cipher through every single entry, researching it in great detail, it would take us thousands and thousands of hours. So we rely really heavily on brands to submit all of the necessary information. And that's ultimately what we judge the product or the brand off of. And I think you would be surprised. Julia and Alessandro, you two won't, but I think our listeners may be surprised that how many entries that come through that have just one sentence.
Yeah, and this is, for us, it is a bit of a problem because this might be our first exposure to your brand, to your product, especially with the globals, which is upcoming, because obviously we're seeing these fantastic brands from all over the world and these amazing products, and we really need to be educated on them, really. Then this is your chance to let us know, and therefore to let, if it does go through, to let our judging panel know, and also our expert judging panel for the Pure Beauty Global Awards, and also our readers know as well, because they'll be seeing this fantastic shortlist issue, which goes out especially to celebrate these and to put these out there. And if it's just a sentence, there's not really much we can build on that. It's a very skeletal bones that we can build on, because Alessandro and I also write these bad boys up, don't we? So it's really helpful.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, there are so many different bits and pieces that brands will be able to tell us on in their entries that we may not have been able to find online.
So much
There's
so.
like a lot of interesting stuff on the backstory that potentially isn't on their website yet, or that sort of thing, which we want to hear about.
Yeah, we would love to know.
Absolutely. And this is especially important, I think, with skincare and hair care, where, for example, you've got an ingredient, you can trial the product and it feels really great. But the whole point of some of these products is that you're supposed to use them for months on end, which of course we can't do. We can't take 800 products home. I mean, I don't think we could fit 800 products in our respective
I couldn't fit
flats,
it in
right?
my house, no, that's for sure.
I know, it'd just be like stacked top to bottom. So you can't do what you're really intending to do. So you need that explained to you. What ingredients are in it? Why does it feel the way it does? What makes it special? What makes it stand out above the competition? And why should it ultimately be going home with that gold, silver, highly commended, whatever prize at the end of the day? So that for me is a really big one. Makeup, I would say makeup, send them in. Send us in your samples. You can only describe so much.
Yeah.
But we need to really try those out. We love samples. It does cement an entry in our heads.
Yeah.
Alessandro, you're probably the same,
it really does. 100%. Because sometimes you'll see the entry and you're just scouring through the boxes trying to find the product that goes along with it. And you're like, I have no idea really what I'm judging now.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
please definitely send in a sample.
Yeah, and I think, don't get me wrong, we have some amazing entries that get written up, and some people can't send in samples if it's not launched just yet or that sort of thing. So,
makes sense.
We will do everything we can to do our due diligence to make sure that we understand the brand.
That just explain.
But I think
why.
seeing it, it's seeing the packaging, understanding. So for example, we've had some amazing fragrance samples that have come in before where we've got like a magnetic lid, and it's just the whole experience of using the product. It makes all of the difference.
And then
absolutely
100%, because then you'll find that one product and you'll pick it up and you'll show the rest of the class like, hey guys, look at this looks amazing.
You
Smell
totally
this.
do that, don't we? We
so
pass them
hyped
round
and we're like, look at this. Whoa,
because we divide and conquer. We give our judges internally a different category to look at, to shortlist it, and so we don't get to see everything. But when something really exciting pops up, you can bet your bottom dollar that we're showing it around the entire
we'll be talking
group,
about
right?
it for a couple of days afterwards. We'll get some things that come in and I'm like, I've never seen that before. This is super exciting.
Absolutely. One thing that always jumps out at me is definitely tailor your entry as well. Make sure it's a good length, 100 words, 150 words, but make sure you tailor your entry to the category that you've entered as well. Because if you're entering something in the skincare category and another product, or maybe the same product entered again into the ingredients category or the sustainability category, we want to know what makes it specifically special for that category.
Yeah.
So what makes it sustainable might be different to what you want to tell us about its efficacy, for example, in another category. So definitely have a little think as well. You can just cut and paste the information you have, but maybe take a couple of seconds to really think about that.
Yeah, and I think to add to your point, Julia, I think it's great to hear, one of my favorite things when I'm reading an entry is when a brand knows how to sell themselves. I think a lot of brands, perhaps they're a little bit shy and they don't know how amazing they are at what they do or how innovative they are. And something that I love is reading an entry where a brand or a product is incredibly clear on why they should be winning this. Because I read it and I'm like, yeah, I'm here for the confidence.
Absolutely, because we're really looking for something, I think, that is going to grab our attention, that we maybe haven't seen before, something that it really stands out above the crowd, and you need to sell yourself to us, essentially. And Emelle, you work in marketing, obviously, you know all about the selling.
Exactly, yeah. As a
getting it out there.
marketeer, I absolutely love to see a brand that knows how to sell themselves. I'm living for it.
Fantastic. Well, you've heard all the things that we want there for your entries into the Pure Beauty Global Awards and, of course, the Pure Beauty Awards later this year. We are going to be back after a very short interlude with some of the top trends for 2025. Alessandro and I are going to get to grips with that. we are continuing with our special bonus edition of the Cosmetics Business Podcast, where we are hard launching into 2025 with the trends we think will be scooping all of the beauty industry awards this year. And we know all about beauty awards here at Cosmetics Business because we actually run 2 every year, as mentioned, the Pure Beauty Awards and the Pure Beauty Global Awards. And excitingly, the Globals are now open to enter. So do check us and our categories out. But we're not here to talk about us. We'll get back to us, but right now we're here to talk about you. More specifically, the beauty products, claims, colours, etc. from you guys that are going to be everywhere over the next 12 months. So, Alessandro, what are your picks?
Well, if it's going to be anything like 2024, 100% the mini mullet, the man mullets, the mescal mullet, it's here for 2025.
And this is Paul Mescal, a.k.a. the new Maximus. Is he Lucius? Is that the character?
I think
haven't
so,
seen it yet.
Yeah. Yes.
Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 2. Yeah, it's everywhere. Pleasing, Harry Styles, the pleasing mullets. And that is absolutely going to be a mainstay for 2025.
And I have to admit, I love a mullet on guys, but we're also seeing it a little bit on women as well. So Florence Pugh, who is sort of a girl crush, I want to be Florence Pugh. Part of me wants to just be 10 years younger, but also to be famous and talented as well. But Florence Pugh has this spiky 80s mullet. And we're also seeing like this whole kind of nostalgic hair trend for the 80s as well. I think Miley Cyrus was at the Grammys with this bouffanty wolf cut. And we're seeing the wolf cut everywhere as well on guys and girls. So I'm having a feeling that we're going to see some of these nostalgic trends coming through quite a lot, continuing to do so in 2025. What do you think about maybe some of the more nostalgic ones? How about Oasis? Do we think Oasis is going to have an impact next year?
Yes, very much so. Definitely with how things have been as well.
Did you manage to get tickets?
No, I did not manage to get tickets.
I didn't either. I will not be donning my bucket hat that I had back when I was an 11-year-old and wanting to be Liam Gallagher with my little glasses and stuff. But that is also, I think, going to have an impact on even women's beauty. Obviously, you mentioned guys there, that kind of Paul Weller mod haircut. But I think a lot of the bloke core vibe, which women can really tap into that too, that kind of laid back approach to beauty and fashion. That's a little bit laddie. You're probably too young to remember the Ladette culture in the 90s, right?
Just a tiny bit too young, Julia. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No. Well, I just seen that Zoe Ball is retiring now. So that ages me massively, but she was a pioneer of that back in the 90s. And yeah, I just think the 90s is going to continue and continue. The other thing I saw as well, we're talking mullets. What about bobs? Spice Girls. So apparently the posh Spice bob.
Is that what it's really called?
Yeah, the pob. That's what it was called back in the day. And it was like Pete, Posh and Bex. And this sort of asymmetrical, it's almost like what the Karen haircut morphed into, you know, the famous Karen haircut. But it was a much cooler proto version of that. And personally, for me, that's really cool because that will link into there'll be lots of tutorials like what products to use, how to texturize your hair, if it's that mussy bob, which is quite big now. And there's just still so much 90s cool going around. I love it. Like skinny eyebrows. Is that happening? We're seeing it on the runways. If somebody came at your eyebrows with tweezers, would you let them take them?
No, I don't think they could even make a dent in my eyebrows. They are very, very thick and bushy, and I don't know where I get them from. So
no, keep them because I can tell you this. Back in the noughties, I stripped mine of all the hair, and they've never really grown back. So
your eyebrows are great, Julia. Don't
very,
worry.
very sad. So yeah, guys, if you've got fantastic natural eyebrows, do not do this. Whatever's in fashion.
What?
I definitely said that before in another podcast, I'm sure, but I'm just gonna stress that trend. But yeah, I'll tell you what I love. I don't know if you've seen this. You're a guy, so you probably don't look into manicures that much, right? But I don't know if you know that there was this whole kind of cat's eye manicure, which kind of looked like, you know, when you look at a car and it's like coloured chrome, it looks a bit like that. And these have now morphed into glass nails.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
So that's what I'm going to have. And apparently the way to do this is it's multi-layers, and one of the layers has to be this magnetic gel polish, and it just gives this fantastic, it looks so posh. Talk about posh again. It looks so expensive looking. And obviously that's been a trend.
And are these press-on? Because we saw that was a boom this year as well, which I do think will continue into the new year.
Absolutely. So this particular look is achieved by you can achieve it with a gel manicure, either from a professional at home if you're really good, but you're absolutely right. If you are somebody who makes gel nails, that's in your repertoire. Not gel nails, stick-on nails. If you have stick-on nails in your repertoire, absolutely, you should be buying into this trend 100%. I would be.
Very cool. I'm just going to bring it back to hair for just a moment because you're describing a lot of hairstyles which were previously not as loved but have now really come into fashion.
Having a moment.
Really having a moment. What's like the one hairstyle you will just not abide by? If pleasing comes out, if Harry Styles comes out with a rat tail, are you gonna deal with that, or are you?
you may have hit on it. I'm going to say I'm forgiving of a mullet to a certain extent, but there are limits. Okay. There are limits, Alessandro. So for me, that would be a big one. A rat's rat's tails.
Oh, sorry, I made you think about the rat's tail, Julie. I'm sorry.
Guys, I'm sorry. If you're wearing one, I apologise, but it's not a good look. It really isn't. It can come off so easily with a pair of scissors. Just do it. Just do it.
Julia's there. She's ready with the scissors. She will be there.
Pair of shears behind you like some sort of serial killer. Yeah.
And then right now, mullets are having a moment. I just wonder, I'm always thinking way, way ahead. What's that going to turn into? Are we going to see like the resurgence of really long hair or something like that after the mullet? Will we have, because it goes in cycles, doesn't it? It's long, it's short.
It does. We've had man buns. We've had that half. We've had that curly on top, the broccoli kind of alpaca thing, which actually looks really nice. I sound like I'm taking a mickey, but it's the Gen Z haircut. I actually do really like that. It's a nice haircut. It gets a lot of flack. I'm giving it a lot of flack, but it's actually a decent haircut. I'm honestly not really sure. I do like a little bit of 70s. One thing I am seeing right now, combined with the mullet that you're talking about, is the pauntache. The pauntache is having a little bit of a moment. I don't know how I feel about that, but you know what? Guys rock it. Especially, I know we're not in November now, but for Movember, stop, put down your shears, keep growing out the moustache. But yeah, I think the combination does feel very retro.
Oh, and look, I'm about to throw a lot of shade at moustaches, even though right now I probably have the biggest moustache I've had so far in my life.
Well, you
I've
also
lost my
have
electric
facial
razor.
hair to compensate with it. I was accidental moustache.
It is an accidental moustache. I went on holiday and my razor's gone, so I just need to buy a new one. But
well, it does look natty, guys. You can't see him, but it does look natty, so don't worry.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. It really depends. On its own, I don't know if I can vibe with just a moustache on its own. But if it's maybe part of an ensemble, more so. But yeah,
it needs a support act.
Definitely.
All right. Definitely. Fantastic. So we've talked a lot about lots of different hair, everything. How about skincare? What do we think about skincare trends?
I think that next year we'll see even more of this sort of accessibility into the science behind skincare, and we saw that through all of like the Medutainment marketing from Sarah V, with Owen Wilson, even though that's hair care actually, but just we'll bring it back to sort of Sarah V, and it was Michael Cera, that whole
Arrested Development. It was very funny. I loved that. That was great.
Yeah, I love that advert. The video of him just sort of like caught on camera in the in the drugstore, yeah, with the little roll of stickers was great, and it makes it fun because really we see the press releases and we speak with the people behind skincare, and you never realize how much science goes into a bottle of skincare sometimes.
Completely. And one of the things I really love about this approach, and I think Sarah V, they've obviously Michael Cera, which, I mean, the name that was a gift, wasn't it, for a marketer, right? But they've also got Jack Whitehall as well. They've onboarded him. And what I really like about this is it kind of allows brands to take back the reins about talking about science from influencers. No offense to influencers, some of them are incredibly scientifically knowledgeable, but it does help them take the reins back from influencers and dermatologists and all these other players who've really been, I guess, slightly bogarting the skincare conversation, the skin science conversation. And actually, brands are the experts. You guys are the experts as well. And it allows them to kind of take that onus a little bit back.
It also just sounds better, I feel. I know that sounds really obvious, but it sounds better coming from the brands than someone online.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there are huge R&D teams behind these brands, and it's great to actually get them talking about this. But let's face it, guys, you are scientists. Jack Whitehall is an entertainer. You are not as funny as Jack Whitehall. It doesn't matter what your girlfriend tells you or your boyfriend. You are not as funny as Jack Whitehall. So let's onboard these people to allow more accessibility, as you say, Alessandro.
The only thing I'm more sad is that there was such a limited run of Michael Cera. I would have loved to see just a little bit more, some goofy adverts or
I believe
a couple
he'll be
more would have been
back.
great.
We must be coming up to the Super Bowl soon. I never know about American sport, but we must be coming up to Super Bowl soon.
It's February,
yes.
I think.
Excellent. So just around the corner, fantastic. I cannot wait to see if something more is built upon that. So for me, a big skincare trend is surrounding the Ozempic economy. And we talked a little bit about this in a previous podcast, with me and Sarah. Obviously, Alessandro, you weren't here. I know you look terribly hurt that we continue this conversation without you. But beyond body care, we're also seeing other industries potentially be able to capitalize on essentially this Ozempic economy. So, for example, if you have drastically reduced your nutritional intake, you are going to have, for example, potentially hair loss. And we are seeing right now this massive premiumization of the hair loss category. We're seeing terms like words like thickening, and instead of loss, which is a bit negative, right? It's more like enhancement and what you've got. And we're seeing like Augustinus Bader, the new company, even Color Wow, getting into this area and getting involved in this area. So I think we can see that continue to grow, and those two trends continue to almost converge together. And another side effect of Ozempic, which is really interesting, can be ketosis and slowed digestion. So years ago, I was on the Atkins diet. Dr. Atkins, I do not recommend the Atkins diet, but one of the side effects is bad breath because of ketosis. And this can obviously is not something that's desirable for many, many consumers. So there is a potential opportunity there for oral care brands to tap into this. I don't think anyone is going to specifically, much like I said with body care, no one is going to specifically market on the link to Ozempic, but there are opportunities that are going to open up in the market as the use of this drug becomes more widespread.
I think that's really fascinating, Julia. And so, sorry for sounding obsessed, but let's wheel it back to hair care for just another moment.
No, wheel us back. We'll wind.
We're talking about probably one of the hottest ingredients in hair care this year, which was banana oil. Am I saying that right?
I love that. I think the first time I saw this, I thought it was banana oil and I got really overexcited. And then I realized, no, it's actually something I've never, ever heard of. So what is it?
It's really interesting. So it's a natural oil native to Honduras, which is super rich in antioxidants and has a really high concentration of fatty acids, which is really, really great for the hair and for the scalp as well and skin.
Interesting. I feel like we've seen a lot of conversation around oils for the hair recently. I mean, it's been perennial, but rosemary oil went absolutely massive this year.
I was on the rosemary oil trend initially.
Well, I've never tried it. Did you work for you?
It's really nice. You go around smelling like a roast for most of the day, but I think,
I don't know if that's good or bad. Depends what time of the day it is and whether you're hungry, right?
It's good and bad.
Well, hopefully, I've not smelled banana oil, so I don't actually know what it smells like. But I think it is interesting because we're now seeing other oils, banana being one of them, starting to move into the rosemary oil space here. So sage oil apparently is really popular. Prickly pear oil and also ginger oil are apparently trending above rosemary oil at this stage. And that's according to data from Nielsen IQ. So a couple of ones there to maybe keep an eye out for as well. I like the idea of ginger oil.
Ginger, you know what? It's probably quite a staple because I've seen it in quite a few things, but maybe I do think that it will blow up a little bit more next year. I'm using a ginger scalp scrub at the moment and it's great. It actually really works. And it's super refreshing.
I was going to say, start your day off like that. That is probably a really good way to make you feel zingy going out the door, which isn't easy at this time of year when it's incredibly cold.
But it's already starting to feel a little bit crowded, though, in the hair oil space. So I'm wondering what's next after banana oil. And I'm wondering how rosemary oil is feeling right now with all these other new players coming out and sort of anyone who's really invested in it, sort of,
Going back to the roast. No, fantastic. So, well, you've heard our top trends there for 2025. And we, of course, want to see all of your top trending products, which you can enter right now. It's open. You can enter these into the Pure Beauty Global Awards, and you can find us at www.purebeautyglobalAwards.com to find out more and to enter. And stay right there, because we are going to be back in just a second to talk to you about the awards a little bit more. Thank you for staying with us, everybody. Guess who's back? It's Emelle.
Hi.
Fantastic. Well, now we have you here, Emelle. I believe you have a really exciting announcement, first to be heard, about the Pure Beauty Global Awards.
Yes, I do. We actually have an exclusive piece of news that's just been confirmed actually in the past 24 hours. So the Pure Beauty Global Awards is, we've got our big ceremony that's going to be going ahead in May. The winner's ceremony is super exciting. It's lots of champagne, lots of celebration.
Last year was fantastic, and I'm sure we're going to top it for this year.
Well, last year it was held at the Oxo Tower, and we love that our guests just get super excited by it, so we had to up the ante. So we have actually just signed the contracts for a brand new venue. And that venue, I know, drum roll. The venue for 2025 is going to be the Waldorf in London, which we're super, super excited for.
If I could whistle, I would whistle. That
Have
is
you guys
really
been?
exciting. No.
It's stunning.
I mean, do you think I could afford the Waldorf standardly just running about on a weekend? No, I can't wait. That is fantastic.
It's where they filmed the Titanic, as in, like, there's so much history that's happened there. It's just, it's beautiful.
Wait,
And
does that mean I'll get to walk where Leonardo has walked?
Yes, and Kate.
Guys, you have to come.
Yeah, exactly. Leonardo has touched the banisters and they've never cleaned them since. No, I'm only joking.
I love it. Seriously, that is absolutely brilliant. So obviously that's the Pure Beauty Global Awards.
Yes.
So for those guys that may be zoned out at the very beginning of this podcast, because we know what you're like, tell us a little bit about the difference between the Pure Beauty Awards and the Pure Beauty Global Awards.
Yeah, sure. It's actually one of our most commonly asked questions that we get. So as I mentioned before, we've got two editions of the Pure Beauty Awards. So we've got the Pure Beauty UK Awards and we've got the Pure Beauty Global Awards. The UK edition is what most people may know us for, and it's our most popular edition. So it is for brand new products that have launched in the 12 months prior to the event opening. So that is all about innovation, brand new launches in the industry across the entire span of the industry. The Global Awards it's a newer scheme. It launched in 2018, and we are looking for launches across the globe that have come from any time. So there's no time frame criteria for the Global Awards. It's essentially, we're looking for both new products and iconic products as well. So we're essentially looking of the best of the best.
Of the best.
Of the best.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, there's so many wonderful brands out there. There's so many iconic brands out there.
Yeah, and we've had, do you know what? We've had some amazing winners in the past as well, actually. We were talking about this with the team the other day, and we've had brands, such as Ella & Joe, through to Chanel, Rehab London, Fenty Skin, L'Occitane. There's so many different brands that have gotten involved in the awards before.
And what I really love about the awards is that I've seen brands up there. You mentioned Chanel, the biggest of the big boys, but also there have been brands that have won. We have categories where it does celebrate new brands.
Yeah, exactly. We love working with indie brands as well. I mean, for example, we were working with the Inky List before they kind of, hit their huge, they went huge nationally, didn't they?
I remember them winning. This was years ago, their first one. And I felt so excited because I remember writing about them, and Mark wrote a piece for us. And then to see him up there getting the award was really edifying. It was like, oh, wow, I really love watching these brands grow and progress and then get taken on by, these supported by these huge companies in the industry like Unilever, for example. So it's really exciting.
It's amazing. I think something that we did in 2024 for the Pure Beauty Global Awards is we had Best New Indie Brand as a category, and an amazing company called Made of More had won it, and we actually launched that category in conjunction with Dr. Pawpaw, who were then going to mentor the indie brand of whoever won. And seeing them win, it like nearly brought a tear to my eye, because you could just see they knew that things were about to completely change for them. So yeah, that was great.
And guys, it could be you.
We do have the Pure Beauty Global Awards that's launched at the moment, which is really exciting. And both the UK and the Global Awards are incredible celebrations of the entire beauty industry. And I myself have personally escorted people off of the dance floor because they just have had such a good time. So we've got to get them out.
Have you seen some incredible dance moves?
Oh my God, honestly, you'd be surprised some of the sights that we've seen. It's amazing. It's one of my favourite parts of the event. And obviously, you know, they're both incredibly hard work and great fun to be a part of. But the best thing about the awards, I think, is hearing feedback from all of our winners. It definitely makes all of it worth it. So I thought I would share some thoughts and testimonials from previous winners of the Pure Beauty Awards, both UK and global.
Hello, I'm Jackie. I'm the founder of Made of More. We specialise in skincare solutions for hormonal skin in midlife. We won in 2024 the Pure Beauty Global Award for Best New Indie Brand. It was an incredible achievement for us, for all of the team really, and it was great to have all the hard work recognised. It's had such a positive impact on us as a business. It's given us exposure to new retailers. We've met some incredible founders, and really it means the world. And my top tip to anyone in the same position who is considering it is do it. Just get yourself out there because it's an amazing thing to achieve.
So, hi, I'm Niamh from Ella and Joe. We are an award-winning skincare and cosmetics company based in the west of Ireland, and we are so grateful to have won multiple Pure Beauty Awards over the last couple of years. It really has meant so much to us because they've been at different levels. So the brand award and then for the individual product awards, we know that the Pure Beauty Awards, they're so well respected across the industry, and that it's the creme de la creme that win and that get featured in the awards. So absolutely, it has meant so much to us, and it really shows the quality of the products that we've produced and that we continue to make. Quality is so important to us, and it really does stand testament to us when we've won so many awards with Pure Beauty and the Pure Beauty Globals. Absolutely would recommend entering to other brands. It's really positively impacted us. The name precedes it in terms of reputation for the Pure Beauty Awards and the Pure Beauty Global Awards. People recognise it, and they recognise the prestige that comes with that. And it really has opened doors for us. So we would highly recommend other brands entering.
So I am Claudia, or my full name Claudia Talsma, a very Dutch name. And I'm from Roosleek, and we have won Best New Moisturizer and Best New Cleanser this year. Basically, it's been absolutely amazing. We've absolutely loved winning the award. We've been emotional. It's been heartwarming. It's been, encouraging. And yeah, we are very grateful for how you guys organize it and how amazingly well done it is. And the reception has been unknown to us. Like, this was the first time we've experienced such a heartwarming, not that we don't get support normally, but this was just over the top.
Those were some really, really amazing testimonials to hear. And even for myself, because sometimes you forget how much of an impact these awards can have on businesses and lives.
Absolutely. It's really, really gratifying. Emelle, thank you so much for joining us and sharing more about the Pure Beauty Awards.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. And to our listeners, if you do want to be a winner for this year, entries for the Pure Beauty Global Awards are open. So make sure that you check us out at www.purebeautyglobalAwards.com.
Thank you so much for listening. That was our special bonus episode of the Cosmetics Business Podcast. And we will be taking a hiatus. But in the meantime, you can catch our back catalogue on YouTube, Apple, Spotify and Amazon. And thank you all so much for your support over the past year.
And remember, you can stay up to date with the latest beauty news, trends and analysis by subscribing to cosmeticsbusiness.com.